When it comes to concrete, we've got you covered. RowPaint.com offers custom concrete coating services for your garage, business, warehouse, and more. And we do it in one day. We are your complete concrete coatings solution.
Well, greetings, Boise State fans. Happy Monday to you. Bronco Nation News Live, BroncoNationNews.com. Whether you're watching us on the KTIK social media channels, the Bronco Nation News social media channels, or whether you're listening to the audio version that we post to iTunes, you can Apple Podcast app, I think it's Spotify, Amazon Music, all those great places. We appreciate you for listening as well. And if you are watching the video stream but want to download our podcast, please do that, Apple Podcasts, and then you can listen to all the episodes that get uploaded throughout the week. But it's Monday, so John Mallory is with us after a busy weekend, an eventful weekend as the NFL draft concludes, and we got a lot to talk about. Johnny, how's it going, man?
Thanks for having me again on Monday. Long weekend, like you said. My voice a little scratchy on this Monday, man. There we go. I'm fired up.
You were that fired up about the Seahawks 7th round pick that you lost your voice.
More like the two corners earlier in day 3, and obviously I had a spring game I went to and had a great weekend,
you're on the field at the Idaho Vandals spring game, just going crazy.
No,
and that's why you have no voice left.
There. Good times, man.
Yeah, no, it was a good weekend, and we do have a ton to talk about, and it's kind of, it never fails, Johnny. Before we can even start the show, Kurt and Rudy get their good mornings in with each other. Kurt says good morning. Rudy's chiming in good morning as well. All the Bronco peeps, good morning as well. Here's Perry chiming in, BJ and Ball Game. So we appreciate you guys for checking us out here on, as I said, the social media channels of Bronco Nation News and 95.3 The Ticket. We got a ton to get to, and we got to start with Khalil Shakir, man. Khalil Shakir, surprisingly, still on the board going into Saturday, and he falls past the 4th round all the way to the 5th round, and he goes to the Buffalo Bills. A little bit more of a slide than we thought, and we got to hand it to Mike Prater. He said it on your show, and he said it with me on Thursday morning. There's just something weird sometimes where Boise State guys just fall a little longer than they should, and he had a weird feeling about Khalil Shakir, and it happened again, and I thought he'd be gone on Friday night, but instead we're waking up Saturday. He was still available, slides to the 5th round, but ultimately finds what's probably a pretty good spot for him in the Buffalo Bills, Johnny.
That's kind of what I thought, and that's where I'm focusing with Khalil Shakir. Once the draft's over, okay, it doesn't matter where you were picked now, right? Now you got to play. Now you got to show out. Now you got to prove people wrong in many cases when maybe you slide like you suggested, and you go a few rounds or a round further than you wanted to. I look at the situation in Buffalo. They were a coin toss last year away from going to the AFC Championship game. They lost in that fantastic divisional playoff game in Kansas City 2 years ago. They were in the AFC Championship game, losing to Kansas City. This is a team that's already built. They're not rebuilding. They're not coming up. They're already there. They already have, BJ, a seat at the table with the elite teams in the AFC. And now you add Khalil Shakir, whatever role he's going to develop and add. I mean, people are kind of connecting the dots. Well, you got rid of Cole Beasley, who's a terrific slot receiver, could do us some other things too. Khalil Shakir, maybe he's going to slide in to that Cole Beasley role. I don't know if he's going to start as a rookie in the slot there and get the Cole Beasley type of reps. We'll see, but I think Buffalo's going to love him. I don't think anybody in that Bills organization is like, shucks. In the 5th round, I wish we would have had that other guy. I think they're ecstatic for getting a player like Khalil Shakir in the 5th round, and Josh Allen is going to love him. You know this. Stephon Diggs is going to love him. He's going to work with him. He's going to mentor him. This is a perfect situation. Now, it's going to be a little cold for him and his family. It's Buffalo. But you know what? Shaq's a pro. He's a mature guy. I think Buffalo's a good setting for him. For him, his new fiance, the family settling down, establishing what he wants to do next in life as an adult, as a grown man, as a professional. I think Buffalo checks a lot of boxes there for him, BJ. And I'm sure he wanted to get a little bit more money. Drafted a little higher would have been nice. But all in all, Buffalo's a good spot. And there's going to be a lot of folks in Boise watching Buffalo Bill games. And is there a better arm on this planet right now than Josh Allen? If there is, there's only a couple dudes who have one. I mean, that's going to be fun to watch Josh Allen and his talent kind of mesh up with Khalil Shakir and his talent. And hopefully it's a start to a very successful career for him. I'm happy.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw it or not, Johnny, but Boise State put out on Twitter a little cool mix they made where it showed Josh Allen making a couple throws, and then they spliced in like the same throw with Khalil Shakir catching it in a Boise State highlight. And they mixed in Bob's calls with the Buffalo Bills calls, and it looked like what it might look like a couple, as early as this fall. Here was the moment in his home as the pick was made. Khalil Shakir surrounded by family, surrounded by friends. He's got his fiance there. And there it is, Khalil Shakir. Little emotional, hard to get up. He's already wearing the Buffalo Bills cap. And there he is, Khalil Shakir, the newest member of the Buffalo Bills. And Johnny, they were expecting to have that party on Friday night, but it doesn't get old seeing guys like that get to live out their dream.
That's so fun. And then you got, who do you hug first? In Khalil's case, okay, I'm going to hug the fiance. Yeah. All right, baby doll, love you. But mama, I know you're right here too. And you got mom, you got your fiance, you got to get your hugs in. Yep. You get your hugs in with your brothers and your dad. And, you've covered Khalil. Family's a huge thing. It's a huge part of the deal for Khalil Shakir. So it was cool to see not just Shaq, but his whole family celebrate that moment. And let's go, Buffalo. Like, here we go. Boise State fans, start rooting for the Bills a little bit. And one more thing about that. They're going to be good. Khalil Shakir is going to a team that's going to win probably 10-plus games. Khalil Shakir's going to a team that's probably going to win its division. They're favorites in the AFC East. So it's going to be, hey, here we go. Let's do this. And Khalil Shakir, good for him. I think he'll fit in very well. That's a good team, BJ.
Here's his family. There he is wearing the Bills hat. He's got the new Khalil Shakir merchandise on as well. I know his mama, who's on the far right there, was tweeting about that. You can get your Khalil Shakir merchandise. But now I think, Johnny, folks are going to go for the Khalil Shakir straight to the Buffalo Bills jersey of Khalil Shakir. So we'll have to
find out what number he's going to be. I don't know if we have yet. But
kind of hard for a rookie fifth-rounder to come in and get number 2. But I'm sure they've got somebody already in that or a retired number or something. I'm not sure on the Bills history there, but we'll see.
But we'll see some dudes walking around in Boise rocking a Buffalo Bill Khalil Shakir jersey. That won't shock me when we see that, BJ.
Perry says that the Bills got a steal. I know we're focusing on the positives here. It's a good fit for him. I saw the writer for The Athletic saying, hey, I would have liked Khalil Shakir on day 2, so to get him on day 3 in round 5, he loved the pick. I saw a lot of the NFL draft experts. Todd McShay called him his favorite pick for the Bills. There's a lot of people he's the trendy guy now. But why? I mean, that's great to say, but why do we think he lasted till round 5? I mean, we've had injury concerns with Ajayi when he slipped or some of those guys, but I don't know if you've seen anything or read anything. I can't figure it out. I have not found any kind of red flag. I know he didn't play in the Senior Bowl. We're not still sure why that was after he practiced all week, and then we turn on the game to watch him, and he just didn't play. So then you're wondering, okay, was some mysterious injury going on? But he obviously did everything at pro day and worked out there and did great. But again, we're all sitting there in the 3rd round, and there's, 17 wide receivers drafted in the first 3 rounds. And I think we all would have probably thought if 17 receivers go, he's one of them. I know it worked out. It's a great fit for him. That's fine. But he did lose some money, Johnny, going 5th round instead of 3rd. You lose some guaranteed money. What's your take on just a little bit of a slide and having to wait longer than we thought?
Yeah, I wish I knew exactly what it was. I mean, the NFL draft, it is such a big secret. And unlike a lot of secrets, BJ, that aren't easy to keep, these dudes in the NFL do a pretty darn good job of keeping secrets when it comes to the NFL draft. We're not in war rooms. we do talk to agents, and you know what agents tell us, right? No, all right, we had Khalil Shakir's agent on our show, Prater and I, and he said he wouldn't be shocked if he went in the first round. I mean, agents kind of have to say that, I think, but we don't talk to a lot of GMs, and when we do, they're not going to give you the secret sauce, man. They just don't. It's a big deal. They want to keep this thing close to the vest, lips zipped, sealed. They just don't want to say. So whatever it was, I thought Prater, he was the first guy I saw do this. Maybe some other people beat him to the punch there. But I saw Prater show a tweet or send a tweet that said something like, I'd really like to know what happened at the Senior Bowl now. And that was as good a guess as I've seen out there. Maybe there was some red flag on an injury or something at the Senior Bowl that, in a deep receiver class, man, there's a lot of other good guys. You're thinking, you know what? Let's not take even just a tiny little injury risk with Khalil Shakir, and let's take the Romeo Doubs kid or whoever else was taken ahead of him, right? So we just will never know. But yeah, that if that mystery ever gets out, I'm sure you'll find it. Prater will find it. You reporters will get out there and you'll discover what the reason was. Or was there a reason? That's the thing. Maybe there wasn't a reason, and these are different flavors. And GMs like who they like, and they like who fits them and whatnot. And it happened.
JD Price coming in. Two things: poor NFL scouting and not great promoting by the BSU staff.
This wasn't a BSU football problem. Why it's not up, in my opinion, to a college staff to promote a draft pick and get him taken a little bit earlier. Andy Avalos has a job at Boise State. Okay. And Khalil Shakir's not paying him out of pocket to help publicize him. If Andy has a question regarding Shaq, he'll answer it, and I'm sure he'll be straightforward with it and say he loves the kid. But Andy Avalos needs to focus on winning games here at Boise State and developing the next Khalil Shakir, BJ, than getting Shaq drafted a little bit earlier. I never put that on a coach. My opinion.
9 straight years now, Johnny, Boise State has had an offensive player drafted. 9 years in a row, an offensive player has been drafted. 13 years in a row, Boise State has had a player drafted. I know there's 7 rounds. I know there's 250-something picks, but for 13 years in a row to have at least one draft pick, for 9 years in a row to have an offensive draft pick, what's that say about this program and the consistency here?
It still says that they do produce pros, and you have to. You have to produce NFL kids because that's what even if a kid comes to Boise State out of high school, that kid thinks he's going to the NFL. That's the mindset these kids have to play at that level. And fortunately, Boise State's had such a good track record at this. Kids can reasonably think, if I'm going to Boise State, I'm going to have a look. I'm going to get a shot to play in the NFL. And Boise State still has a seat at that table. Now, they're not sitting with Georgia, right? They're not sitting with Bama. Some of these SEC powers are having a bunch of players taken, but they do have a seat at the banquet, right? Where they still get looked at. NFL GMs, they're sending their scouts, hey, check out who's at Boise State this year. Who's Boise State got? And that's still a lot of programs, NFL scouts, GMs might not do that as much with. But Boise State, they make darn sure that they're paying attention to what Boise State is doing because they know they turn out pros.
I was a little surprised once he got to the 4th round, the Cowboys didn't take him. I just thought with Kellen's connection and the Cowboys going to that well so many times and it's worked out for them, they weren't going to reach for him. But once it got to like the 4th round, the beginning of the 5th round, I was like, what, if they're not even taking him, there really must be something here. But who knows? Well, overall, what'd you think of the draft in Vegas, man? It was a pretty cool setup.
It was. My ultimate takeaways there. Georgia had 15 players taken, something like that, BJ. I thought a big takeaway for me was not one Big 12 player drafted in the first round.
For the 2nd year in a row.
That's a Power 5 league, 2 straight years that doesn't have a first-round kid. Now, how are you going to fix this, Big 12? What are you guys going to do? You're going to need to add some teams here? Boise State, they have any interest there? Maybe. I don't know if that helps or hurts them moving forward, but the Big 12 has now, and according to the NFL draft at least, that's the 5th of the Power 5 leagues, and you're losing Texas, who didn't even have a player taken. That's embarrassing. But you're also losing Oklahoma, best first rounders every single year. What's the Big 12 going to do? Because right now, 2 straight years without a first round pick, not going to work here anymore.
Well, Khalil Shakir was the only player drafted. Boise State did have 4 other players that we'll discuss in a second land with NFL teams. But first, United Commercial Insurance. Check them out online, unitedcommercialinsurance.com. They make business insurance easy. If you own a business or you're thinking of starting a business, whether it's all the liabilities, the workers' comp, all the different business insurance policies you need, they can write policies in 44 states around the country. So check them out, unitedcommercialinsurance.com. Transportation compliance service as well. If you're looking to get into the trucking industry, if you're looking for a career change, a fresh start, perfect job is getting into the trucking industry. 1,000 people a day are becoming truck drivers. It's a big industry right now with the pandemic, and TCS can help you get all the permits, all the things you need, and help you get out on the road towing that first load. Check them out online, transcomservice.com. Boise Dentistry Co. as well. Locations across the Treasure Valley. Dr. Meinert there does a great job. He'll talk BSU sports with you while he's working on your teeth. Great staff, all the newest technology. Check them out, Boise Dentistry Co. Okay, Johnny.
JP would have been a hell of a truck driver right there. Let me just throw that in there. I could see JP hitting the road. You give him that big back space in the back of the truck, so he's got a bed, he's got a place to crash. That's the career that got away from old JPZ over there.
Hey, man, you joke about it, but it's a very lucrative industry right now. They're money, man. You can listen to your own podcast and just podcast Prater in the ball game 3 hours a day while you're hitting the open road. It sounds like a great possibility. By the way, Johnny, the golf balls have arrived here, and even though you're not, and so since you're playing officially, you do get a set here. We got the new Bronco Nation news golf balls here. You can see them on the screen here, and these are nice balls too. These are Callaway golf balls here, and every player that plays in the Bronco Nation News tournament is going to get a sleeve of 3 golf balls here. So if you're still on the fence, we do have a couple of foursomes left. So join us June 3rd at Timberstone. Johnny's going to be out there. Prater, JP is playing as well. So maybe we'll get some sort of contest, with you and Prater and Johnny on lowest score. I know, we'll have to throw some handicaps or some other things in there because I know your game's a little behind them, Johnny, but we can work on that.
We can do something with Prater and JP, but I'll.
Well,
I mean, I'm going to need JP would have to give me like 20 strokes aside. You'd have to give me like 40 strokes.
No, you're not that bad. Come on.
Hey, man, I'm trying for everything I can here.
Well, we need to get you to the driving range or something before the tournament to practice. But appreciate KTIK for helping sponsor the tournament. You guys will be out there doing your show that day. You're going to play in the tournament. Going to be a lot of fun. And again, June 3rd, if folks want to enter, we still do have a couple of foursomes, whole sponsorships available. 4 guys, Johnny, did sign. The most notable one, Kekala Kaniho, lands a free agent signing with the Arizona Cardinals. I said this on your guys' show on Friday that I thought just his production spoke too loudly. I know he's not the biggest guy out there, but it's just impossible for teams to look at that production and not have somebody give him a chance. And Kekala Kaniho lands the one, not minicamp tryout, not invitation to the minicamp, the one free agent signing that Boise State got. It's Kekala Kaniho. Of all the guys, him to get it, does that surprise you at all?
No, it doesn't. And there is a difference, and I'm sure you can explain it in a rookie mini camp invite versus a UDFA, undrafted free agent. That means Kekala Kaniho as an invite to training camp. Now, maybe if he doesn't play well in the mini camp, they can release him or whatever. But you're right. This is a different level of being a free agent, and it won't shock me one bit when the Cardinals play their first preseason game. It's going to be late in the 4th quarter of a preseason game. No one is caring about. Kaniho's going to get in somehow, some way, he'll have the ball in his hands. He'll pick off a pass. He'll block a punt. He'll pick up a fumble. I mean, he'll just do something. And he's not going to be an easy cut. I think Kaniho has a shot to make about $8,000 a week next year, kicking it on the Cardinals practice squad. He's probably everything you'd want in a practice squad type of player. He's going to show up way early to get taped because that's what you have to do in the practice squad. When the vets show up, you don't get, you got to get your work in early. He's going to do all that. He's going to be invested. And I think Steve Keim, the GM at Arizona, who I'm a big fan of, he does a good job in building that roster. I feel like the Cardinals always have some of the top tier talent or more talented rosters in the league. They do a good job on draft day too. And I expect Kaniho to give him hell, and he's going to be all over the place. Maybe he's too small. Maybe he's too slow. Maybe he's not strong enough, but let's let the Cardinals decide that, right? Yep. And this is another cool angle for the Boise State fan when preseason begins, when training camp begins. Check on over to the Arizona Cardinals site and all this and see how Kakaula Kaniho is doing. And I won't be, I'll be shocked if he's on the 53. Okay. But I think he can make the practice squad, and good for him. That's $8,000 a week, man. We'd do that.
A lot of the no joke. A lot of the things we said about Kakaula Kaniho going into the draft, Johnny, we said about Avery Williams, right? Great production in college, a little undersized. Are they about the same? I know Avery's a little thicker, right? But are they close to the same size? I wish I knew that, but I feel
pounds?
like
maybe Avery's 10 pounds heavier than.
But I mean, height-wise, neither. I mean, they're probably
Avery
similar.
was just so gifted in special teams. It really put him over.
He was, but I'm just saying in general, a lot of the things that I look at and say, oh, if he was 3 inches taller, if he was just a little bigger, look what Avery Williams is doing. He got a chance. He obviously got drafted, but he's having success. And even at his small size, he's been out there playing some at nickel and at corner for Atlanta. So I don't think it's crazy.
You think he's got a shot to make the 53?
Well, I'd be lying if I said I knew anything about their depth at corner or safety or what the defensive backfield. I haven't studied the Arizona Cardinals depth chart, in the defensive back room. But as I said on Friday with you guys on Prater in the ball game, I wouldn't put it past him, man. The dude has all the makings. He just needed somebody to give him a chance. The football smarts, I think, is going to help him in terms of knowing the playbook. And you're right, he's going to be the first guy in there, the last guy to leave. He's going to be a very hard guy to kick to cut. And so I do think at worst he's probably a practice squad player. Ultimately, yeah, there's 6'4", 6'5" receivers. The size just may be a little too much to overcome. But again, you put on the tape, it didn't hurt him in college against some bigger receivers and guys. And I thought he was a heck of a player, and he was a great guy to cover for 4 years, and wishing him the luck and best of luck. And obviously his brother is still on the team here as a corner for Boise State as well. So it'll be interesting to follow him, but congrats to him. And that's a cool deal for him regardless of what happens. But you're right. I think we'll look up in the preseason in the third, fourth quarter, and Kaniho's out there, stripping the ball or making plays somehow. So we'll see, but that was cool for him. He gets the free agent deal. Cyrus Abibi-Likio, he lands, he had tweeted that he was signing with them as a free agent. Boise State sent out this graphic, which thanks to them for putting these together. I stole them from Twitter. They call it a mini camp invite here for Cyrus Abibi-Likio. He's from the Bay Area. He went to the 49ers kind of regional, pro day thing. What do you make of Abibi-Likio getting a tryout, it looks like, or at least a mini camp invite with the 49ers?
Yeah, how this works, basically you need to fill a bunch of spots for your rookie mini camp, right? And NFL teams will do this in a lot of cases, BJ, to save money. They'll find players who are close there locally. And that's the case, I think, here. And you saw, he had a workout with them. There was some interest there with the 49ers and what Kyle Shanahan is doing in Cyrus Abibi-Likio. Maybe it's his pass catching ability. Maybe it's him in pass pro. Maybe they just like the kid and they're going to give him a shot. Now, what you need at rookie minicamp, when you get there, then the next move is, does the organization invite you to fall camp? And he's going to have to ball out. He's going to have to prove his worth, and he's going to have to hope that the San Francisco 49ers say, you know what, let's keep you around. Stay in the facility. You can work out here in the offseason, whatever you're doing, and we'll see you come fall camp, and that's what he has to do.
Again, has some skills, has some tools. He had a couple of those hurdles where he would just hurdle over guys, but again, never really had the chance to be the number one back for a full season to show what he can do. So good luck to him. There's always success stories where guys sneak in and make it happen, but I we'll have to wait and see. Two guys that did get multiple tryouts. We'll start with Jake Stetz. He lands invites to both the Seahawks and the Broncos. And I actually saw Jake Stetz on Saturday evening, randomly bumped into him downtown, and he was really excited about this, really pumped up. And again, he'll go to one this weekend and then one next weekend. But Jake Stetz had a really bad knee injury at the end of the season, lower leg injury. Somehow, I almost said miracle, but it basically was a miracle that he got back out there for pro day. and did enough to earn minicamp invites. And again, his versatility, he can play center, he can play guard. What do you make of Jake Stetz getting a couple tryouts, including one with the Seahawks?
I think that's a smart move. Yeah, Denver calls, Seattle calls. Okay, their mini camps are on different weekends. Perfect. Let's go to both of them. Now, he goes to Seattle first, you said, correct?
I don't know the order, but I believe
if
so.
If he goes to Seattle first, does he say, hey, do I need to go to Denver next week, or do you want me, right? Seattle might not want to let him go to Bronco camp. Seahawks might say, hey, well, you've shown us enough. Let's keep rehabbing. Let's keep healing up that knee. We think you can play an interior lineman spot in this league, or if anything, help us out on a practice squad. That's a big thing now. And Denver's saying, okay, maybe, if he leaves Seattle, then we're going to give him a workout the following week. Smart move by Stetz. A great story that just keeps adding layers in chapters to, showing up as a regular student. And this weekend, he's going to be either in Denver or Seattle at a mini camp, trying to fulfill a dream that every single person who ever puts on a helmet, I don't care what level you put the helmet on at, you want to play in the NFL, and Jake Stetz is going to get to put on an NFL helmet. Heck, maybe two of them. So let's hope one of those teams says, all right, we're going to keep you around. Let's keep this going, and let's see how you look come fall camp this summer.
And I totally agree with that. I was going to make that point that no matter what happens, he'll be able to get dressed in an NFL locker room, go participate in NFL practice, put on an NFL practice jersey, and have that graphic and say that he was, I don't know if you can say you're an NFL player, but you were in an NFL training camp. It's something you can say for the rest of your life. And I think that goes for the final one that signed as well, Daniel Cantrell. He gets 2 invites as well. He's going to the Seahawks, and then he's going to go to the Raiders the following weekend. Or I don't know what the order is, but either way, Seahawks and Raiders. And he was a guy, Johnny, that I think you, me, and Prater all thought would get some sort of chance just because of the uniqueness of long snapping. It's an art, and not a lot of guys can do it. And, it is kind of crazy, but here he is, one of the 4 guys that signs, a long snapper, and, local kid, obviously, and got to go to one of those all-star games down in Florida and worked his way into this position. And as I said last week, I thought scouts were really taking notice of him at Pro Day. And similar to Stetz, he gets 2 opportunities here, 2 chances to try to latch on, at least to get an invite to camp.
Yeah, I'd like to see how many teams typically keep a long snapper on their practice squad. That's information I should look up, and I will. If that's the case, then maybe Cantrell has a shot to, be a practice squad type of player. I don't know if he's going to be a starting long snapper for a team this year, but who knows? Yeah, long snapping they're unicorns, man.
Well, for him, he needs to just get into just do enough in this weekend mini camp to get the summer camp invite for the OTAs, hang around, get into the preseason with somebody. And then you got the USFL going on. You got the XFL starting in the spring. I mean, there's so many other leagues. A guy like Cantrell, you just want to get some tape and hope that this, I don't think any of us are expecting him to be starting this year, but if you can get one of these invites to push him through to a signing for the summer, I think that would be huge for him.
Thing that's tough about long snappers too is they don't get hurt and they play a long time. Guys like Trey Junkin, old long snapper guys, played 2 decades in this league. You think of the Chicago Bears, right? You know who's played the most games in Chicago Bear history? It's not Walter Payton. It's not Dick Butkus. It's a long snapper whose name I've already forgotten, right? He's played in the most games in Bears history. It was a long snapper who played on the team for like 15 years. They don't get hurt. But if you can somehow get a gig, holy smokes, man, good for Cantrell. And he's out snapping right now. Get 500, get 1,000 snaps in a day. You be ready for that mini camp and, hopefully show enough to where someone wants to keep you around. But 2 tryouts is pretty cool. He gets 2 chances to get a training camp invite.
Well, appreciate it, Johnny. Good show today. And the Venmo payment went through this morning. So even though your voice was feeling a little under the weather, you had to tough it out today, man, because it was payday today. So we appreciate you coming on, man. I'm sure you and Prater and JP, you'll have full coverage, right? 3 to 6 today of all the draft. And what do you got on there?
It's the double deuce. Shout out to my boy Dalton. Roadhouse.
Double
double
deuce. There you go. Jasper, Missouri. I'm from
Nobody
Missouri.
ever wins a fight, BJ. Nobody ever
I'm not
wins
sure
a
where
fight.
Jasper, Missouri is, and I'm from Missouri. Where is Jasper?
I think it's a fictional town because it's in a movie. There's no such thing as Jasper, Missouri?
There probably is. I don't know every small. Do you know every small town in Washington? I don't know. But appreciate it, Johnny. Thanks to JP for getting us on. We'll be listening 3 to 6 today. Jay Tust and I will be back tomorrow. Hope everybody has a good Monday. By the way, I'll have some breaking Boise State basketball news that I'm posting here shortly, just to throw you a little tease. Check social media. A little Boise State basketball breaking news coming in the next 5-10 minutes.
Oh, BJ, you're the best, man. You're the best.
Take care, guys. Bronco Nation News. Bronco Nation News.